My tab is, very different, extremely different.
Sure.
Have you ever heard of the alphabet?
Which one?
Any of them.
Any of them? Yes, I'm familiar with the concept.
That's what I'm talking about today. The alphabet. So the original tab was this thing from Mental Floss about these 10 letters that used to exist in the English alphabet that we just ditched along the way.
Oh.
So yeah, there used to be like,
36 letters in the alphabet altogether?
Well, give and take. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Sorry, I gotta take a deep breath after that damn story.
Sorry.
Damn. Okay, that was damn rough. Get it? Just please put me in the ground. I'm tired.
We can bury you in the ground and then have a bunch of water flow over it.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of alphabets, this goes all the way back to it's like 2000 BC when we first start to see like an actual alphabet emerge. Before that, it was like hieroglyphics and like the Phoenician script. So more picture based, but like ancient Jewish people moved to Egypt by force or because they wanted to work there. And they were like, what the heck is this hieroglyphic stuff? This is so complicated. If we're gonna work here, we have to make this better. And so they pretty much simplified hieroglyphics into like what they call a proto-Sinaitic. They pretty much simplified the hieroglyphics to make it work because they were like, this is stupid. And they were like, this takes so much time and I'm sick of it. So
it's not efficient.
No, not at all. Because it was like Egyptians would like, it was like an art form almost, like, we're going to make this picture that's also a story. And anyway, so after that, throughout the years, I'm just going to kind of glaze over this because this is not what I wanted to talk about, but we do need some background on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it changes to Archaic Greek. And that's in like 750 BC. So this was like 1500 years of this alphabet that the ancient Jews created. And this is when the letter Y starts appearing. What looks like the letter Y. So there wasn't a letter Y. I know. Well, here's the crazy thing. So I have this chart. I'll post it. But the original Proto-Semitic letters are incredible. Like the letter A used to be like a bull with horns. And slowly over time, it just flipped over. And that's why you have those 2 points on the A. They were horns on the bull. Yeah.
Also, it's kind of funny that they did a bull with horns after like ragging on the Egyptians for having be like, your stuff's too picture based. We need to have a bull with horns because that's clearly more of a letter.
They took the original one and were like, we're just going to keep the bull. So, and all of these are very similar.
Pro bull.
You can see the H. The original H looks like kind of like a gate or a fence because the Semitic word for fence or gate started with an H, the H sound. So they were going based on that. So over the years, then it switched to, the ancient Greek. And then it went to Archaic Latin. And this is where you start seeing a few more letters. And then they also dropped some of the Greek letters because they were like, these don't make sense. Then we go to the Roman alphabet. And this is in the 1st century. So kind of the height of the Roman Empire. And this is mostly what we have today. So the alphabet we have today has kind of not really changed in 1,000 or 2,000 years. Too much. So it only had 23 letters. And this is where Y and Z kind of start to get all weird. They add Z. And then the Y, do you remember the original Y that was up there? They're like, it starts looking like a V. And so that becomes a V.
Oh, okay. Was the V sound there?
Yes, that's how they pronounced it.
Okay.
It looked like a Y, but it was pronounced like a V. Linguists, bear with me. No,
I'm here. I'm into it.
Then we go to the modern Latin script. And that is, they add the J, the Y becomes 3 other letters, U, V, W.
Okay.
And it looks...
Okay.
And this is around the same time. So now, here's where it gets closer to where I wanted to talk about. We hop the channel from the continental Europe to England. We're back. Surprise.
England!
I don't know anything about this place. And at this time, England was called something along the lines of Britannia, Prytani, Prydain, all these different Celtic words that ended up sounding like Britannia or Britain. And the Romans invade, and they occupy England for like 500 years. And so they bring their alphabet with them. And
okay. Interesting. Right. So then that's where it starts to merge.
After the Romans leave, this is so simplified. After the Romans leave in the 400s, Anglo-Saxons, who are Germanic from the mainland, have started to move into England and take over. And they have their own runic alphabet. So 2 alphabets. We got runes from the Germanic people, and we've got the Latin alphabet. And they're merging.
How is anyone even talking to each other at this point? Like,
no one's
how
writing.
How is anyone communicating? I guess that's true, right? Like,
well, they kind of have this weird blend. So it's interesting to go because you can see them use both alphabets in one singular document because of the blending of the cultures. And at this point in 400 AD, they show up, and these Anglo-Saxons are like, Celts, get away from me. And they start pushing all the Celts into Wales and Cornwall and Scotland, which is where they remain today. So their alphabet was called Futhorc.
The Celtic alphabet was called Futhorc?
No, sorry, I'm hopping all around. The Germanic Anglo-Saxon.
That one's called,
Futhorc. The Celts didn't really write things down. And if they did, they don't survive. You know how much history I'm not talking about right now? And it is taking everything in me. No, this will go on for
some tangents if you need.
All right, I might. Okay, so this Futhorc runic alphabet. Over the next 500 years, Latin and Futhorc start to kind of merge. And
they're attracted to each other.
But no one really knows.
Fall in love.
They run away. They defy their parents.
Oh, it's forbidden.
They defy their parents, and they leave, and they commit suicide together. Nope. Why is it always death with me? Man.
Where are they buried? Where are those languages buried, Hannah? That's what I want to know. Where are their graves?
Dig them up. Okay. So Futhorc and Latin start to combine, and no one really knows why or how they combined, but they did. To end up, now we're in 1000 AD, and the Latin alphabet has won out. So we've got all the Latin stuff, but there were these leftover letters from the Futhorc alphabet that were just included because they had made sounds that Latin didn't really have letters for.
They're like, so now, why not just hold on to it?
Well, yeah, but so now we have these like 10 or so letters that were in the alphabet and then slowly kind of faded because of the printing press and movable type.
Okay. Interesting.
So, these letters existed in writing, but when movable type came over from Belgium, they were like, we don't have that letter. And so that's when they kind of started dropping it and just using Latin ones.
Literally the language changes just because.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's
logistics.
Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So the first letter I'm going to talk about is eth. And it sounds like you're saying S, but with a lisp. Eth.
With a lisp. Okay. Eth.
And it is like a D with a little line through the stick part of the D. I'm a linguist.
I got you. It's like a cross with like a half circle on it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't really know where this came from. They think it was a modified Roman letter or modified from Irish writing, that old Ogham script, but no one really knows. And it was also used, sometimes they would use it for the shorthand for the word the. So if you see it, sometimes it just stands for the word the.
The. I mean, if it's eth.
And it's a harder TH, yeah. So it's not like a th, it's like a th. Yeah. Eth.
Th. This has turned into an ASMR podcast.
Yeah. So this letter It's disgusting. Why am I so grossed out by that? That gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Fine, don't subscribe to my ASMR YouTube channel. You're not invited.
Fine. Yeah. Oh, I will only subscribe if you eat crab legs, like that one lady. Have you watched her?
That someone eats? No, I don't actually watch ASMR videos.
I don't watch it either, but the internet gives it to me.
Right. Crab legs?
So I watch some lady just slurping meat out of crab legs.
Ew!
It's horrible. I don't get ASMR. I don't get the little tingly. I don't want to hear people
eat ever.
Oh,
I don't
me
want to
either.
hear people eat ever.
It enrages
ever,
me
ever.
to the point of like I want to commit a crime. Oh, you got that too,
yes.
huh?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have eth, which is like a D with a line. Eth is a weird one because it quickly dies out once this other letter called thorn is also there. So thorn looks like a P, but so that the line of the P keeps going. Mm-hmm. So it's like it looks like a little thorn coming out of a line.
So it's like a D where like the roots grow out and then the top part of it grows as well.
Yes. It's like a lowercase p.
This is a fun game. I like doing this.
It's
trying to describe letters.
P, but the roots keep going. Yeah. So this letter also made the sound eth. So
why would you have two of them that made the same sound?
Right. So
redundant.
That's why they were like, where did original
Sounds like the Belgians were like, yeah, no, this is actually like not as efficient.
They were like, you guys
they were consultants. Yeah.
Which is funny because the Futhorc alphabet originally came from around that region in the Germanic area. Not Belgium, but anyway.
Sure.
So thorn is the oldest one. So this has been around. This is one of the oldest letters of the Futhorc alphabet, and also this English alphabet. So it actually ended up winning out. So it was like, get out of here, eth. I'm eth now.
Get out of here.
I'm the eth now. So this letter stuck around longer than most of the Old English ones. We got rid of this one last. And this was when movable type came. And so instead, they were like, it makes it eth now sound. So now we're just going to use th. And so that's where the sound th comes from. It used to be its own letter. Over the years, thorn had started to look a lot like the letter Y through all the different script changes. And that's a whole different thing. And so the movable type people are like, this is stupid. It looks like a Y, it looks like a P. We're not going to do this. But here's a fun fact about thorn is that, have you ever seen things named like ye old shop or like with
the PPE?
Yeah, but the ye part. So that's thorn. It was supposed to be the old shop because that Y.
Oh my God, mind blown.
I know that Y was originally the P that got turned and morphed into this like weird cursive Y.
Oh my God.
Movable type came around.
That's
like,
why it's ye old shop.
Yes. It's supposed to be the old shop. I know. And so when movable type came, they were like, this kind of looks like that letter. So they put a Y there.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
That's
this is why
strange.
When the King James Bible was translated, it's full of ye. When it should just be have the. I know you love the Bible. God. I know.
Yeah, I should.
So there's a lot of it that's like,
so ye as like a phrase isn't even like a thing, really. It just was like a.
If it's about a person.
It is also.
So like, hear ye. That's like, hear you.
It's not
you
hear the.
No, but like in the Bible, in the Bible where a verse starts with ye, it's supposed to be the.
Holy crap.
I know. It like changes everything.
That's so bizarre. Yeah, language literally changes because of Belgian typesetters who did not want to
who were like, we're not doing this. So that's thorn. I love thorn. And Icelandic still uses thorn. It's the only language today still around that uses thorn regularly. Okay. So the next one is win. And
win.
This one also kind of looks like a P. Like a cursive P.
I'm starting to understand, like, the Belgians.
Like,
I feel
get
like
out.
Yeah.
But the serifs are kind of slanted. Anyway, this is the W sound. So Latin, there was no W sound. And when they wanted to make the W sound, they would just put two U's next to each other, which ended up becoming the W.
Merging together, yeah.
Which is, like in Spanish, W is W. And most languages, it ends up being
the word is literally W.
Yep. W.
Or the letter is referred to as W. Yes, that makes sense.
So before that combined, there was win. And win, it makes the long oo sound. So yeah, it just ended up winning out because it looks like a P. The W ends up beating it because it just looked too much like a P. Okay, here's the next one. Number 4, yoch.
Yeah. Yoch.
Yoch. And it eventually becomes the GH sound.
I was gonna say yoch. That sounds like when I write farce English.
Farce
like when
English.
You try to write farce English is like when you write Farsi out in English characters, like when I'm texting like my mom or something.
And you use GH?
We use GH for like a re and then a KH for like a che.
Oh, interesting. Because it's very similar to this, that like guttural kind of back of the throat sound, and it survives in a lot of language. I'm going to go down my Celtic wormhole.
I was actually going to ask too. It's like I don't hear that sound is always confusing for people when they speak English. Like I'm sorry, when they're like English speakers when they're trying to read stuff that has like GH or the KH. We don't really have it in English. But it's still. But you're saying it did used to exist within the sort of
Old
on
English,
the continent. It's interesting. Yeah,
Old English had this, and so I don't speak it very well anymore, but I used to speak Welsh pretty fluently, and the word for red, for example, is goch, or koch. Goch or koch, yeah. And so that sound is in Welsh. That sound is in Scottish. Yeah, say it.
Fun fact. In Farsi, go, which out the gosa means like shit.
Are you serious?
Go. Yeah, go.
Whoa,
but no re, just the GOH would be.
Go. I love that.
Yeah, but I could just be like goch. Yeah.
Goch. Anyway.
Goch is red.
Yes, it's red. And it's in Scottish where you see the word for loch, like a lake. Like Loch Ness.
Oh, like Loch Ness? Mm-hmm. Is it supposed to be Loch Ness, though?
It's Loch Ness, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Loch Ness.
Yes. So in Celtic languages, this yoch still exists a lot. But in English, because English has changed so much, it became GH. But, also yoch looks like a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like the number 3.
So it would just be like...
And this one... yoch shows up in the Middle Ages, the Middle English period. Sorry, not Middle Ages, the 1400s, which is weirdly relatively late. And then they ditched it because, of course, the typists and printers were like, "This is a 3. We're not printing this," and so they replaced it with GH. But then, if you look back at Middle English, the word for night, it used to be pronounced nicht. So the GH, I'm not pronouncing that right.
It would have been the 3, so it would have been KNI 3T.
So, yes, that would have been the word for night. Or
so the GH in night needs to be a re sound, not like a silent like night, like NIGHT.
Right, and it became silent because that's just how English evolved. So
that's so weird. Yeah. I've always wondered that because I was like, this doesn't make sense. Because again, like when I write out the Farsi English, it's like we always do the GH and KH. That's not official, by the way. That's just sort of like its own thing that's developed when you try and translate a non like Western alphabetic language into English.
Right, you kind of have to fudge it a little bit sometimes. We're like, this is kind of close, but.
Yeah, but no, because to me, I would read like night as like nacht.
Yeah, that's how it makes
much more sense to me.
Closer to being pronounced that way. So in Old English and in Middle English, they would. Well, the same with the word house. HOUS doesn't make any sense. It used to be pronounced hus.
Hus, I was to say, yeah.
Yeah, like housewife used to be like Swift or something. Who's Swift?
Who's Swift?
Some interesting. I can't remember. Don't
Who's
quote
Swift?
Me on that.
Your hair has taken up too much of the drain.
You're bringing the hair into this again. I'm guilty of that. My hair is all over the place. Anyway,
mine is too, but for different reasons.
So this GH used to be, just migrating down.
Yeah, it's migrating down to my back. That's what I always say.
It's got to go somewhere.
Got to go somewhere.
So anyway, this was also called the insular G, which is a softer G, like J. So
like zhuzh.
Yeah. Anyway, they ditched it because it looks like a 3. The next one is ash. And this one you see still. It's that combined A and E that kind of make one little letter. That's ash.
Yeah.
And it's also what Elon Musk named his kid. That letter.
Ash. Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah. So they call him Ash, but it's spelled with the ash letter. And so we still see it in words like ether, or people want to pronounce it into the aether, but it's actually just ether. Or ether.
It should be ashther.
It should be ether because it's like the A is like ash. Yeah. Anyway, ash. The next one is
so
similar.
Really what it should have been is the AE and also the weird P, which is the TH sound, right? Ye, right? So it would have been like AE and then what was it called again? The
thorn.
Ye sound? The thorn. So it would have been ash and thorn next to each other.
Oh.
Is that right?
I don't know.
I'm trying to apply the knowledge that you've given me. It sounds like that's what you would have had.
Sorry, can you say that from the beginning?
Ash, right? The letter ash, which is the
ash.
AE.
Yeah.
And then, so if you're reading it as ether,
ether.
You would have had the TH sound, right?
Yeah. Yes,
so you would have had ash, and then you would have had the Y, whatever.
The Y,
like
or the thorn.
Whatever it was called. The thorn, yeah. So it would have been ash and thorn next to each other. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just trying to apply it.
No, that's actually true. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Please give me a thumbs up.
Good job.
You're paying attention. Yay.
Of course I am.
No. Me, not you. I'm saying that's me being like, I'm paying attention. Yay.
Got it. I'm all over the place. Cut all that. So the next one is Ethel. And Ethel is
Ethel Merman.
What's his name? Sam
Worrell. How did he feel about all this? That's what I want to know.
Oh, nothing. He probably didn't feel anything.
He wasn't born yet. Sorry, Sam
Worrell. The next one is Sam Worrell, and it's an Englishman who hates poor people. No. So Ethel. And this one you've also seen. It's the O and the E that are squished together.
Yes.
And this one you see in words like subpoena.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And especially in British English, they've kept this one around a lot longer than American English. Like when we moved over here and how we spell, we dropped a bunch of stuff. Like in England, encyclopedia and pedophile are both, I guess pedophile is the same in ours too. That pedophile has the ash in it.
Speaking of Elon Musk's favorite things to talk about.
Yeah, pedophiles.
Pedophiles.
And so, sorry, back to Ethel. And it makes an oi sound, which
oi.
Which was
That's
weird.
Very punk rock.
I know. Which was replaced by the just oi once, the typesetters were like, no.
Yeah. No.
But a weird little thing is interesting because in Welsh, the oi sound is spelled OE. So I was always weirded out, like, why does this make that sound? And now I know. We're getting through this, okay? Ready? We're almost done.
No, I'm loving it. I'm trying to even apply it.
So Ethel and Ash we still kind of have around. Now this next one is really interesting to me. It's the long S. And
long S.
This makes no sense. So try to follow, but if you don't, that's okay. So the long S looks like a lowercase cursive F. So if you ever
that was the hardest one. It's like
what?
F.
Oh, I know.
It's just I'm trying to remember. It's like the two loops, right?
If you're going by like the American system of writing,
I've never had to think about how I used to. If I take out a piece of paper, I could do it, but I don't even remember.
It's like a slanted T with like a little
it's
little
so
guys
muscle
on the
memory.
end. I know.
Yeah.
So it looks like
super muscle memory,
like a slanted, like a sideways kind of S with a little line through the middle. So it kind of looks like an F. And the long S, they would use it next to the normal S. It had all these little rules where it was like the long S could be in a sentence with the normal S, but only if it was at the end of the word, and only if it wasn't at the beginning of the word. So the long S could never be at the beginning of the word.
Yeah.
Which is why they were like, we're getting rid of this for sure.
English love their rules.
No, and as long as they can be the ones to make the rules, yeah.
Of course.
But if you look at the Bill of Rights, which I know you do every day, you wake up every morning and you read it, right?
I was just reading it earlier right now, actually, before we got on the call.
It says Congress at the top, and it's spelled Congres, long S, because it's at the end of a word. So they actually included that in the Bill of Rights. And
so is this supposed to be like Congress, like a snake or something? What's the deal?
Long S confuses me. I couldn't figure it out, but it's still used in calculus. So did you ever take calculus?
No, I'm dumb.
Me too.
I thought we established this.
Well, because you also failed art, math, geometry. So have you ever read any of Shakespeare's original folios?
No, I don't even know what his folios are. I mean, I've read the plays and shit. But
so in his actual...
Is that the fancy word for the play? Is that what folio is?
It wasn't like a book. It was just a folio. You know, folios, you're got a file, I think. I don't know.
Portfolio?
It's just pieces of paper all collected.
Yeah, did Shakespeare ever show up to my table and be like, can you look at my portfolio and give me feedback and let me know if it's...
And we say, this doesn't make sense. You're talking in old, dumb English. I'm just kidding. I love Shakespeare so much. What is this F? Anyway, Congress?
This F doesn't make sense. Congress. Congress. Congresswoman.
Congresswoman Hillam. No, I would never. So the long S in Shakespeare, you see it all the time. So when I was in high school, I was really into Shakespeare. That's a different story for a different day. But
I remember being embarrassed by that, but I'm like, that means you were smart. That means that's a smart thing to have had.
All the math stuff I didn't understand made up for it in the way that I could weirdly, naturally understand Shakespeare without having to be told, which is a superpower.
That's awesome.
In English class. Yeah. And that's the only time. Anyway, I wanted to be a Shakespearean actor. So I would read these original folios and I was like, what the heck are these Fs? And didn't understand it at all. And so anyway, that's my experience with the long S.
Long S.
Now the next one is eng. And
eng
is just the NG sound that comes at the end of words. So if you think about it, NG at the end of words doesn't make sense to have as it does,
thinking.
But thinking. It's just a strange. Usually. It's its own sound. And so this one was easy to get rid of because they were because the original letter was an N with a curved backward tail coming off of both ends.
Weird.
And they were easy, just replace it with NG.
It's funny because what that makes me think of is Vietnamese, because they'll have the NG for so many names at the beginning of it.
Right, and they're not pronounced at the end at all like an N or a G. They're pronounced, isn't it win?
Yeah. People will be like, Nguyen, and you're like, that's not how it goes at all. Yeah.
Somehow it's win. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm saving my favorite for last, which is the ampersand.
Okay.
The ampersand was once a letter, and it was part of the alphabet. And it started out as another letter called the Turonian et, which is the Latin word for and, which is an E and a T.
That sounds awesome. The Turonian what?
Et. I think it's
that
pronounced
sounds like an amazing name for a bar or something.
Yeah, it does. In 1500.
Yeah.
Or in Game of Thrones. You go in there and
Or I was going to say Lord of the Rings. It's where Merry and Pippin and Sam and all them go to drink.
You're right. Fan fiction time. That's what I'm writing.
Yeah. The Turonian.
The Turonian et.
I think it's because it sounds like the Taharian et.
There it is.
Sounds most like my name.
There it is.
The Taharian et will be the name of my bar.
That's actually pretty clever. So the et looks like an upside down and backwards cursive L. And it just
All right.
it just meant and in Latin. So the ampersand came out of that. So if you look at the ampersand, early ampersand, it looks like an E and a T. And it's, you know, the ones where it's like, I'll just put a picture. The ampersands that look a lot like an E, a cursive E.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the T. I usually think of it as like a 3 with like a line through it almost.
The line is the top of the T. So it's E into the T, et.
Right, okay.
And the reason it's called an ampersand is because it came at the end of the alphabet. So we would use it would come after Z. And the name itself comes from and per se and, which translates to and per se and. So after Z comes and. Which just means like and in and of itself, or and standing on itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'd be like XYZ and per se and. And that blew my mind.
It.
I was like, that's the dumbest name. Let's just say and. But
I'm gonna have to go back after we record this episode, and I actually it's as I'm recording it, I'm trying my best to process it, but I will go back and listen to this because this is
crazy,
so
right?
bizarre, and I'm actually excited to see all the on-screen stuff that we're gonna have to throw up to visualize it because it's hard for me to not see pictures of it. Yeah, thanks, Alyssa. You're gonna have to have a bunch of images. Yeah.
But yeah, I have a little graph or little picture that shows the ampersand, and it's where it started with the ET and how it slowly through different scripts and texts turned into what we see today, and that's why it's just a symbol for and it's been in the alphabet before. So school kids would learn ampersand in school when learning the alphabet.
That was the last letter of the alphabet.
Yeah.
This new information that you've provided ruins the entire now I know my ABCs, all right? It's all thrown into question. Someone needs to write a new version of this.
Ash, ether. Ash, how does the ABC? A, B, C, D, ash, ether. Thorn.
W, X, Y, Z, ampersand.
Yuck. Z, ampersand.
Z and ampersand. Now I know my yuck BCs. Yuck ABCs with bulls.
So that is why we have such crazy sounds in English that don't make sense when they're spelled, because they used to be separate letters, and
that's awesome.
Make more sense. And English in itself is just one of the most crazy languages because it all depended on who invaded England when, and what they brought with them, and what they mixed into it. So, because they were also invaded later by the Danes, so we get a bunch of Danish crap in there, and there was always the Celtic people trying to invade them, and then the Normans, the French, came in. In 1066, and William the Conqueror was like, "We're only speaking French in court." Anyway, so the English language is crazy, and it's a big mishmash of a bunch of stuff. And
super cool, though.
That is my tab.
I love it. You are my, what was it? Nicht in shining armor.
Nicht.
Coming to my rescue to explain to me how the English language makes no sense. My Nicht in shining armor.
One little fun fact is that somebody was like, "You don't know how to pronounce Kamehameha" in the last episode. And I was like, but wait, I read the phonetic alphabet thing, the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet.
IPAs? What are you, a middle-aged man making beers?
I knew you were going to say that. But it turns out I don't know how to read IPA, and so sorry. And that's what got me going on this, is because I was trying to figure it all out.
So thank you guys for your feedback. It led to us having an interesting tab as a result of it, actually.
I know. I love the feedback, even though I get defensive.
No, it's the thing is like the feedback is cool when you have like if you're like, here's, because what we want to do is learn. So if you're like, here, like you said, like here's the thing that helped you learn, like this tab that came from it, like that's cool. When you're just like, no, you guys are dickheads, you're like, I don't know what to do with it.
I'm going to keep pronouncing it Kamehameha like a Californian would.
So how are you supposed to pronounce it? Did you figure it out? Or
I was kind of close. It's called Kamehameha. Yeah.
Okay.
People are going to love the next episode, though. Like I even butcher more Hawaiian, but that's okay.
Oh right, because we recorded that
went
before.
and Anyway, so that's my tab.
This
was an intense episode.
Yeah, that was super cool though. I loved it.